Hello everyone. The next wave of PR6 has been announced. That means another handful of Wargaming's paper/fantasy ships to be researched and turned into shipment. I said in the last PR Origin video I'd create a follow-up covering PR6 when it get announced, and now here we are. It's the origin of the PR6 ship class. Starting us off is Shimanto. Shimanto is light cruiser Mogami played completely straight. Historically, the Mogami class were built as light cruisers with 15 155mm guns and 5 triple mounts. Following Japan's withdrawal from the naval treaties, were regunned with twin 203s. Shimanto's guns confuse me. She's armed with 15 Type 5 150mm guns. These guns were designed to shoot down US bombers by the Imperial Japanese Army, and therein lies the problem. The IJA and IJN hated each other, so it's very unlikely an IJN ship would end up with those guns, especially since only 2 were produced by the end of the war. What's even more confusing is that the IJN already had the 155mm third-year type guns available in triple turrets, from the Yamatos and original Mogamis, and they were dual-purpose. Hopefully Shimanto will be good in Azur. Their family isn't known for being particularly effective in WoWs. Flandre is next, and based on one of the designs for the French Alsace-class battleship. In response to the construction of the German H-class battleships, France would look to lay down a pair of battleships of its own. 3 designs were produced. The first displaced 40,000 tons and would be armed with 9 380mm guns. The second, at 42,500, would increase its main armament to 9 406mm guns. The third design would come in at 45,000 tons and reduce the armament by down to 380mm, but would increase the barrel count to 12. Flandre is a representative of the first smallest design, and the one believed by some to be most likely to be built due to France's infrastructure limits. Flandre is the third of 4 names proposed for the Alsace class. Felix Schultz is a Type 1938A design destroyer. The 38As were a project for a destroyer that would operate in the Atlantic alongside larger German warships far from home bases. Somewhere between a destroyer and a cruiser, they would carry 6 150mm guns and 3 twin turrets, as well as a pair of 4-tube torpedo launchers. These destroyers approach the size of a cruiser and would feature a hybrid diesel-steam propulsion plant for long-range cruising or high speed. They would serve as the basis for later Spark cruiser designs. A number of these ships were ordered under Plan Z, but none would get built. Up next is Hindenburg, an evolution of Rune. Much like her predecessor, she's a fictional ship built around a design by Krupp of a triple 203mm turret, although this time she is based on the Admiral Hipper class instead of the Leipzig class. The Admiral Hipper class hull was enlarged to fit her new main guns, machinery, additional secondary guns, and 4 quadruple torpedo launchers. Finally, Kearsarge, the hybrid battleship designed by Gibbs and Koch. In the late 1930s, the Soviets were looking to build a powerful navy and had contracted the US shipbuilders to design new battleships. The first attempt at a 35,000-ton design fell through, but the Soviets persisted, contracting Gibbs and Koch for a superior ship armed with 16-inch guns and no displacement limits. Kearsarge is one of these designs. A 62,000-ton monstrosity armed with 12 16-inch Mark 6 guns, a 402-foot-long flight deck, and a 30-knot top speed. The US Navy had reviewed these ships for their own use, but weren't particularly impressed by the impractical design. Shipyard expansions would be needed to accommodate such ships at the Soviets' expense, and generally, battleships and carriers are incompatible as a single unit. Bureaucracy regarding its violation of the naval treaties led to a ban on building ships above 45,000 tons for the Soviet Union by President Roosevelt, although the Soviets would turn it down regardless. Kearsarge is designed if it was built by the US, incorporating a modern, by World War II standards, carrier superstructure and modernised anti-aircraft weaponry. And that's PR6. Bit of a mixed bag at the moment, but that will probably change once we can actually use them and hear their voice lines. But that's all for me. So, I'll catch you later.